Next Radio 2018 with Broadcast Bionics. Next Radio.
Can we say as well, thank you so much for the nomination for the Arias. That was great.
We're thrilled. I've already bought a frock. We're in.
Thank you. That is a thrill. And also, can I also say, never leave your Twitter logged in backstage at a radio event, Matt. Sorry, but we've been tweeting from your account. So this is exciting. So yeah, we host the Late Night Alternative, weeknights from 10 on talkRADIO. One person can pick it up. One person has seen the massive advertising campaign. So I was kind of the host and Katherine was the producer, and then those roles kind of got blurred, and I'm the host and Katherine is also the host. And you produce as well, and you still earn less than me.
Yeah,
so
and I take all the rap, so...
These are great days to be alive. And I guess what we wanted to say, to talk about today was how we do it, what radio kind of means to us, because we're both quite big radio geeks and love it, and very passionate about it, and the power that it has, and just how we think that our approach is slightly different to a lot of the other, with a few exceptions, a lot of the other late night radio shows. Not telling you this is how you should do it, that you guys are right, or you're wrong, we're wrong, whatever. It's just how we do it, and we're aware that we're a very cult, kind of niche little show that some people absolutely love and adore, and others absolutely violently hate it.
But the ones that violently hate listen the most, so...
Yeah, they do, and they tweet us constantly. So go on, what did you want to say about
Well, really, we sort of realised with late nights, because we worked breakfast before, that we were talking to people who didn't have the distractions that we were dealing with at breakfast time. Yep. So there aren't generally, unless they're really tiny kids screaming in the background, demanding your attention. Late nights is a really different and special time to be communicating with someone. Yeah,
and we're kind of primarily coming from a speech-based radio format, as opposed to music, which again is slightly different. But Kath and I, over the sort of, I guess, nearly 3 years we've been doing this, have come to realise that when we got the gig at talkRADIO, and it was the slot that I asked for, when I went there, they kind of said, what slot would you prefer? And I said, I want to do late at night because the pressure's off, because it's a little bit more psychedelic, because you get your stoners and your drunks and your lonely people and your depressed people and night workers phoning in, so it's kind of a different thing. But we as radio listeners, particularly again to speech radio, we are so bored of Brexit phone-ins, man. We've had Brexit phone-ins for like the last 5 years, and we're going to have it for the next 5 years at least.
And before that, it was immigration. What we're going to do about the Muslims and all that stuff. That seems to be, there's a revolving door of these things that are designed to make you feel angry and powerless and worried.
So we decided we wanted to do something that got away from those kind of stories. And also doing, what's the point of us doing the same stories 14 hours after breakfast has done it? The story's not necessarily moved on. You've heard all of the opinion, and also, and I know this works for LBC, and I'm a big fan of LBC, and I listen to LBC a lot. It's got some of the, some great presenters on there. But, we've got Steve from Tottenham who's going to talk to us about Brexit. What the fuck does that achieve? What is Steve going to sort out about Brexit? But, and listen, it works for LBC. They get infinitely more listeners than I could ever dream of. And I tune in and I love it. And, James and Nick and Iain, they're all great presenters on there. But so we decided we wanted to get away from that kind of stuff and make it more story-focused, make it more people-focused, make it focused on, if we get guests in, they are guests that have got a really good story to tell, or mainly it's the callers that generate the stories for us, because everyone's got a story, and it's about the humanity that you can get through radio that you can't get through TV, the connection that you'll know about, all this stuff, but the connection that you can get through radio that you can't get through TV. And also, as we have discovered over the 3 years, is the sense of community that you can build up. Do you want to talk about Manny first of all?
Well, Manny was one of yours from when you worked at BBC WM, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So he's been listening for years, and when you were doing a very different kind of programme, more news-based and stuff, he would ring in and, pine about stuff like that. But the relationship with Manny has deepened, I would say, and we've seen him through, over the years, some really difficult times. Manny lost his sight in an industrial accident, and it was over a gradual period. And when he kind of rang us as he came to terms with the fact that his life was changing, and from being the breadwinner and a really proud grafter, he found himself feeling like he wasn't good for anything anymore, didn't he? He would ring you and talk very, very honestly about it. And I think the reason why people confide in Iain, and to me, because I'm Iain's friend on air, is because you can...
On air?
Yeah, off air. Bloody hell, what a nightmare. Because you
Laughing a lot of that. Have we worked together? Blimey.
Because you confide in them, or it feels like you do.
Yeah.
I know you don't give away more than you want to, but you're, I'd say, more honest than a lot of people on the radio.
Oh, they know I'm nuts, you know, and I'm in the mental health sense of the word. What is that? We've got a clip, and also this first clip might sound a bit worthy, and it doesn't need to be worthy. And the couple of clips you're going to hear afterwards, I think, illustrate that, because worthy, you know, that is a turn off, man, in every sense of the word. It can be done with humor, it can be done with compassion, it can be done without it, you know, being too heavy.
And
but
let's
the first
be
clip
honest,
is a little bit
for the
heavy.
most part, we wind Manny up like we might wind everyone up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
He sometimes rings up just for that purpose.
Manny, just to put it in context, Manny's had some bad luck. He went blind about 6 years ago in an industrial accident. His dad died on an aeroplane coming home from India earlier this year, on an aeroplane. And he's just struggled a bit, and he called us in the other day.
Please work.
Which button do we press?
That right one.
Don't keep pressing it.
I reckon the magic wand.
I went to town today.
Yeah.
I was feeling that bad. I bought a Stanley knife.
Oh, Manny!
I sat on this bench.
Manny!
And I sat on this bloody bench.
Yeah.
And I put my jacket up a little bit. And I was so tempted today.
Yeah.
Really. It just pisses me off. I want to go back to work. I used to work. I can't bloody work. Pisses me off.
Okay.
Sitting home, dossing. Very tempted today.
Cool, blimey. So if you couldn't hear that, Manny was going to kill himself that day. You know, that was quite heavy. And I just, the way we went into it goes, I bought a Stanley knife. Manny! It's like, oh, Manuel, what have you done? Because we were pissing around before, and then he comes out with that, and that's kind of the nature of it. But that was, you know, mind blown. There's a guy phoning us up. He's got no one else to tell that he feels he can tell, that he's contemplated suicide. And the reason behind him doing that was, Katherine?
He wanted a job.
Yeah.
He says he feels useless. And his wife is doing all the work as far as he can tell. She's keeping the family together, and he feels guilty about the amount of pressure she's under, but also he's used to being able to provide.
Yeah, he felt emasculated, he felt useless, felt worthless. So what we do in all those situations, always give out the Samaritan's number, always got that on standby so we can chuck that out. We managed to talk him, I mean, he hadn't killed himself, obviously, otherwise it wouldn't be phoning in. But we kind of spent then 10 minutes, which you can do late at night, kind of just give him a little boost and reminding him what there was worth living for. And then we kind of came up with a plan.
Yeah. So I started it from that moment. While Iain's talking to Manny, I'm looking up different people, agencies that might be able to help him find work. You know, obviously, there are limitations to what he can do, but there are also plenty of blind people who are working perfectly well. It's just a matter of getting the right person on the end of the phone. So you were talking to him, I was trying to sort it out. And by the end of the conversation, we had a plan, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we said we would give him a call. I didn't think we heard anything back straight away, did we?
No, you were Googling like RNIB and all these kind of organisations. We also went on Twitter that night and posted the little 2-minute clip, and a bit more, saying that this is the situation. Is there anybody out there listening or reading this that can help us get Manny a job? All right, and it kind of became a bit of our mission. And whereas a lot of radio shows will do a big, we're going to clean up our town or something, which is great. We kind of went micro. And it's like, right, we're going to get Manny a job, man. This is now our project. And everyone on Twitter got behind us, and people were emailing us and tweeting us organizations and putting us in touch. So then later that week, a couple of days later, we got on, he's in Birmingham, he's in Wolverhampton. We got an organization from Birmingham who came on and chatted to Manny. And they were a charity, and we were kind of expecting to go, I'm not doing a charity, because he's a proud man. But at the end of it, he was enthused, wasn't he?
Yeah, so she said that they do workshops and stuff like that, and that they will help him, and he can start working on this project of himself straight away. He felt like there was hope all of a sudden, didn't he? And also he told us, and this is the bit that nearly got me, that he'd gone to his local shop a couple of days after our conversation, and the guy working there, the manager of the shop, was a listener and said, listen, I've got a disabled guy working for me at the moment, so I've got all the clearance checks and stuff. I reckon I could probably find you something to do around here. So
he got offered 2 jobs on the back of the show.
He's now got decisions to make as to what he wants to do,
which is incredible. And he's going to start a course with one of the organisations that we put him in touch with. He's going to get his CV done up. He's going to get new skills. He's going to start going for job interviews and stuff.
And the second time he phoned us up, the difference in his voice was amazing. It was a lightness to it. He was hopeful. You could hear it, couldn't you?
And so that's the kind of thing I mean about. Again, it sounds really worthy, but it was done in a way with a lot of humour. Manny's been calling me for like 6 years, so I kind of gently take the piss out of him. He gently, quite aggressively takes the piss out of me. So it's funny. And even at that conversation where he sat there in a park with his sleeve rolled up and a Stanley knife, we were kind of able to laugh about it in a very weird, slightly awkward way, but we were able to laugh about it and get him through that. And also what kind of takes it out of the micro is that a lot of people listening to a radio show at midnight are suicidal, and I've talked about mental health, and it is becoming one of those things that we do talk a lot about now, and we get a lot of calls about that, and from alcoholics and from drug addicts. And there would have been a lot of identification with that. It doesn't always, and people trust me and Katherine because we're there, because we share a lot about our own lives and our own kind of struggles, man. People identify with it and feel that they want to come and share with us when their family. Manny couldn't talk to his wife or his kids about it. Didn't feel comfortable phoning Samaritans, which I get. But then we've had a few others.
The next clip we're going to hear is from Lacey, who we haven't ever spoken to before, but obviously she's been listening a bit. For no way as long as Manny has. Manny's been listening for years, and we've had fallouts and all sorts with Manny. We've got history. Lacey was a new voice, and she rang up again because she felt like Iain was the only person she could talk to about stuff.
Well, you as well. I think it's important that there's a woman, a woman on air. I think that makes a difference.
I'll be
sometimes.
the woman.
That could be you.
Okay.
We haven't got the test results back yet, so we can't confirm it. But sit in my Pope chair. You can't say that now.
No, please don't.
You can't say that. I haven't got a Pope chair anymore. But the thing is that I do think it makes a difference because some women feel they can talk to me and some men, but sometimes the conversation will veer over to you, and that's great, and I'm more than happy to take a back seat. But Lacey, what was the situation with Lacey?
Lacey's on a disability benefit. She'd had it cut, hadn't she?
Yeah.
And she couldn't feed herself. Or a cat.
She hadn't had any benefits for, it was a couple of months, I think.
And she tried the appeals process and stuff, hadn't she?
And that had messed up, so she had to start the appeals process again. So she was basically hungry. And I was thinking, where is this going? And about 5 minutes into it, she said, could you buy me some food? And it kind of blew our minds a little bit, And,
it came out of left field, and you did kind of hesitate a little bit.
Yeah.
Because, we don't know what's going on with people. We don't want to cross lines, but at the same time, when you've got someone on the end of the phone saying to you, I've got nothing in the cupboard, how can you ignore that?
So then the next, again, this was after midnight, so you can get away with this on a radio station that is poorly advertised. So after midnight, that's the message I'm trying to get to the bosses at talkRADIO. Advertise us, man. We want everyone to know that Eamon is there.
Including his team.
Sometimes when he comes in. No, it's not true we call him Eamon Stay-at-Homes. Now, joking, she does. So we then spent half an hour setting up a Tesco online account and doing her shopping for her.
It gave us quite a lot of insight into her life, didn't it?
It was funny, and she took the piss a little bit, which was great. Play the clip, man.
If I can.
It's coming. Producers, huh?
Equipment.
You pressed it twice. We skipped it.
All right, shampoo is done. Yeah,
there we go.
You got soap and stuff?
Yes, please.
What do you like, a bar of soap, or do you like shower gel, or what?
No, I use the Dove soap.
She's not messing about.
Nice stuff, flipping heck. She don't mind, does she? Okay. Do you need toilet paper?
Desperately.
There we go. Well, gosh,
desperately.
Look. We will see. All right, give us a couple more things, and then I think we're there. So we've got a couple more things you want.
Well, Iain, I have 4 cats.
Flipping it.
Would you just get the cats some cat biscuits and a box of cat food, and then we call it quits?
We'll call it quits! We'll call it quits! We'll call it quits!
Yeah.
But it was...
That was the end of quite a long list. That was a week
It was a
shopping.
long list. 4 cats and Dove soap. Jesus. But it was funny. You know, it was a really horrific, sad situation that loads of our listeners will find themselves in. But it was funny. And we're not playing this go, hey, look at us. We're really great.
And it's not all these calls either. There's a lot of messing about.
Oh, yeah. Which
is just as important.
And this isn't us saying we're really cool because we do this for our listeners, right? It's just a human response to a situation. It was a spontaneous human response. But it's just to highlight the fact that radio, all radio, late night radio in particular, I believe personally, it creates a community. You've got a sense of trust. You have to be 100% honest when you're on the radio, guys, don't you, Catherine? Okay, you can have a little bit of theatre, but that thing, that was terrifying. But you've got to, you build trust and you build people kind of respond to you. Let's play the last clip.
I was going to say, sometimes people come in with requests that we really can't help them with. At least, you didn't help her with this, did you?
Well, I don't know.
Here's Carol.
This is Carol, who's a new caller, my favourite new caller.
Let's hope she's going to pop up at some point.
Carol's coming, she always is.
Don't say that.
Line 1, you're on the wireless.
It's Carol again.
Hello, Carol. That's okay. Can you hear us properly now? Yes.
I wouldn't mind coming to your... you'd be doing me a favour, actually.
At the sex
if I
party?
went to your cocaine and... Yeah.
Cocaine and sex party at the weekend.
I always say to people, make sure you carry a condom. Because you never know what might crop up.
I've got a decent idea, Carol.
So have you got the condoms?
See? Well, I had 2 in case it got really excited. I managed to get rid of one a couple of months ago, but the others...
Okay.
I haven't had sex for that long. I think it's healed over.
Now... Carol's 61, does a little bit of nudie modelling, and she's delighted. Because I was joking, I was having a cocaine and sex party at the weekend. She believed that she wanted to come. She did. We had a great time. We had a great time. It was what you should have been there.
I'm glad I wasn't.
I guess in conclusion, because we're kind of running out of time, is half of you will have loved what you've just heard, and half of you have gone, well, this is shit. That is the beauty of radio, is that people will love it passionately and people will hate it passionately. There's very kind of little in between. And I guess that in summary, it's all about community. This is how we treat our late night radio show. It's about community. We genuinely are good friends. That comes across on the air. And I think people can buy into that. And I think that that's what is missing from some other radio shows, that sense of community, I think.
And late nights are magic. You can get away with all sorts.
I tell you someone
Just
who's
don't
brilliant.
advertise.
So, someone who's brilliant as well at it is Dotton on BBC London. His BBC London show, Dotton Adebayo, is brilliant at that kind of, let's build a community, people trust him and share and stuff. And the talk kind of just petered out towards the end, but we're finished. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.